The Indy Racing League starts a new season in South Florida. Pick a storyline, any storyline. We have kart defectors, new engine and chassis combinations, a late deal for a fan favorite, and a reigning champion looking for a three-peat.
Sprint car drivers look for an early season edge out west. The Outlaws ride off into the desert. The SCRA trying to stay ahead of the rain in Paris.
We also have sports cars at Homestead, World Superbikes in Spain, and a story of survival at the Rally of Turkey.
Wheel to wheel, nose to tail, Speed News rolls on.
Welcome to Speed News. The 32nd board is turned sideways and the revs are up. I'm Ralph Shaheen.
And I'm Dave Despain. 94-degree heat. Let's drop the rag on the 8th season of the Indy Racing League. That at the Homestead Miami Mile Oval. Now, whatever the knocks on Tony George's IRL, and for a comprehensive list, go to any kart-oriented internet message board. The league has developed a reputation for spectacularly close finishes, margins of victory comparable to those in a NASCAR restrictor plate race, but without the restrictors. From outside row one, Michael Andretti won the start over his teammate, pole sitter Tony Kanaan, but only after Helio Castroneves went high to make it 3 wide in turn 1 on this mile-and-a-half oval. I knew that all along. First crash of the year, just 3 laps in. Shiggy Hattori, Scott Mayer. Mayer eased into the wall. We go to the restart. Again, 3 wide in a hurry. Kanaan on the bottom, Castroneves in the middle, and Michael up high holding the lead. All Dallara chassis up front. They took 9 of the top 10 qualifying spots. Still early, Kanaan shows his car owner no deference, takes the lead away from Michael. Chevy-powered Sam Hornish looking for his 3rd straight win here and eventually a 3rd straight title. Slowly faded. Ended up, what, 10th? In his traffic jam here, Gilles de Ferran goes way low to pass Kanaan for the lead. Toyota power over Honda. Now watch Jacques Lazier's hands. He's turning. It's pushing. The wall's coming. He's done. Brother Buddy, by the way, a late scratch. On that yellow, critical mistake for Kanaan. He stalled the car, fell out of contention for the win. We go to the 3rd car in line. Tomas Schechter challenging for 3rd place, eventually faded to 8th, but that was a preview because here comes his Australian teammate Scott Dixon to the bottom and takes 2nd from Castroneves, New Zealand, not Australia. Helio then lost 3rd to Scott Sharp, who was the inaugural IRL co-champion back in '96. Final caution, Robbie Buell goes around. Michael will barely miss him way down low. All this just as everybody needed fuel. And kudos to the Target Ganassi guys. They got Dixon out ahead of Marlboro Team Penske's de Ferran and left it to the G-Force mounted driver to keep it that way. Final restart, the move will be made by Sharp in yellow. He had to pinch it, though, in turn 1. That cost him the momentum, and he wound up 5th. Now, it was not a side-by-side finish, but de Ferran kept it close enough to be interesting. Dixon became the 2nd guy to win in his first IRL start. The first was another Ganassi driver. That would be Montoya at the Indy 500. So, Scott, how about that pit stop? How about that badly outnumbered G-Force chassis?
Was huge. That's, got us the lead. The guys in the pits, Team Target guys just did it. They nailed that stop, and we got Jill on pit exit, and that was it. I knew we had a good race car, but we are struggling a little with a bit of grip out of the car. Those guys are going to do, a good job, and for Phoenix, I think this is going to be the hardest racetrack for that car. So, if we can do this with coming away with a win at Homestead, hopefully we can come away with a lot more.
Dixon came away with $106,000 today for his team. The top 8 cars on the lead lap. Strength of Penske, 2nd and 3rd. Andretti Green Racing, 4th, 6th, and 7th. Schechter put the other Ganassi G-Force in 8th. The 98 IRL champ Kenny Brack's return to the series ended with 11th place. Sarah Fisher, Buddy Rice, AJ the 4th. Several laps down, 21 competed. The guy missing is Mayer. You saw him crash out on lap 3. Let's hear from some of the other top finishers.
The car was strong all day long, and we led a lot of the race. Certainly Scott was also very strong, so once he got ahead, we were very evenly matched, and it was very difficult to pass unless we had extenuating circumstances. And every time he caught traffic, I thought maybe there's a chance there for me, but he was dealing very well with traffic as well. I was trying, man. I was trying everything I knew, and but I have to say Scott did a good job and didn't make any mistakes.
Overall, we did a good job. 3rd is not bad. Repeat the same results as last year. We just need to change the end of the last year. The car was working
fairly consistent. I made a little mistake in the stop and I stole the car. I'm having a little bit of issue over there, but hey, I'll take fourth. Fourth is better than nothing, but we want to go for the win.
I don't think I ever had the car. Even at the beginning, I didn't feel good. Even though I took the lead, I just felt like it was only going to be a matter of time they're going to get by me, and that's what happened. I was losing just a little bit on each end, especially at this end. Turn 4, I just couldn't get the power down there, and that's where I was losing it.
We hung in there all day, and I think, you know, there's a bunch of cars that were just really equal, and we just had to make the best of it. And unfortunately, we had a wonderful set of Firestones with 2 runs to go. I mean, I was catching the leaders, could go anywhere on the track, and maybe took that a little bit for granted with the last set, and was pretty tight towards the end there and just couldn't capitalize.
Well, the points, of course, simply reflect the results. Again, the last 2 years, Homestead winner's gone on to claim the championship, but today's results do nothing to allay the fears of the Chevy folks that they're short on horsepower and top speed.
Well, the Infiniti Pro Division, the junior class for the IRL, began its chase for its second championship today as well, also at the 1.5-mile Homestead Miami Oval with the running of the Western Union 100. To the highlights we go. 2 rookies qualified on the front row. Mark Taylor on the outside takes the lead from pole winner Thiago Medeiros. Veteran Ari Lyondike Jr. was in 3rd. Moving up from 5th, number 20, Jeff Simmons, also a rookie, makes a rookie mistake. This spin causes him to lose the lead he took from Taylor in lap 24. Mark Taylor wins the Western Union 100, 1.3 seconds ahead of Thiago Medeiros. Brendan Irwin finishes in 3rd. Panther Racing has won all 3 Infiniti Pro races there at Miami.
Couldn't have gone better. Didn't have much experience as far as ovals are concerned before the start of this year. Team have done a great job getting me to learn about it's all about experience, and as I'm lacking in it, they have to make a good car for me to drive around at the moment. I'm learning every step of the way. The important part was to get every lap under my belt, and we were able to do that. Fortunate enough, we were in the lead for most of them, so I was very happy, and the car felt great. I have to say thanks to Panther, letting me drive the car, getting such a good car together. They've been working really hard this weekend.
A World of Outlaws rematch in Vegas. The California Kid versus the Big Gun in the Pennsylvania Posse. Wild sprint car action coming up.
And later, a 3-legged turkey, or make that 3 legs of the Rally of Turkey. A wily veteran looks to survive for his shot at a record-tying win. Same-day highlights coming up on Speed News.
What was that old TV show? You asked for it? Well, we have a new TV show. It's called Wind Tunnel, and you asked for it to become an hour, and it will next week. And appearing on Wind Tunnel Friday night, CART President and CEO Chris Pook said he can't comment on the problems with Road America, but he hopes CART will race there. And he did give us his take on why there are only 2 American drivers in the series.
When we test an American in the car and we test a European comes in and in 10 laps he's on the pace. It takes our guys 60 to 70 laps to get on the pace, and of course that the engineers and the teams sort of say, you know, oh gosh, we got to train another guy.
And Pook also said as CEO of a public company, he can't discuss CART returning to private ownership or perhaps merging in some way with Formula One. But Jerry Forsyth, a team owner and CART's largest shareholder, is under no such constraints. He said this week he favors both of those ideas and believes if a deal is to be made with F1's Bernie Ecclestone, it will happen within a month.
Formula One has always been known as the world's most technologically advanced form of motorsports. Recently, the series governing body, the FIA, issued a series of what they called proposals to help fix the lack of the quality of racing in the series. Now, Ron Dennis, the head man of McLaren, and Frank Williams of BMW Williams responded by saying that the new ideas dumbed down the series. Of course, the FIA's president, Max Mosley, had a response to those accusations.
I think what we've got to try and do now is get Ron and Frank to concentrate on beating Ferrari and let us try and run the sport. If they could run their teams well enough, then we won't have any problems with television or anything else. But they need to catch up, and they should concentrate on their teams.
The way I look at it, we owe more to the public than we do to any of the teams. The teams are professional there, all of them, it's their business. And the public are paying to watch the sport at the top, or motorsport at the top. And we owe it to the public to make sure that the rules are in such a way that the racing is good.
Now, the F1 season gets underway in just a few days at the Australian Grand Prix, and Speed Channel is planning on being there. The deal hasn't been officially announced, but wink, wink, we got good indication that you should be able to catch provisional and final qualifying Thursday and Friday nights, as well as the entire race and the complete F1 season here on Speed. Plan to get lots of coffee ready to go early in the morning. Now, time to put a few extra tear-offs on your TV screen as we load up our sprint car highlights from the weekend.
Yeah, we're going to Las Vegas, where last night's World of Outlaw featured a replay of Friday night's battle between the Pennsylvania Posse's Tim Schaefer and the young Californian Jason Myers. For a while. Go to the tape. Schaefer's had the pole and grabbed the pole shot from Myers, who started right alongside. Show me the dude, briefly. Danny Lasowski starts fifth. Myers grabs the lead. Friday night, Jason edged by Tim on the last lap. Now watch the kid picking up the front wheels. He's hooked up, holds off Schaefer, who was fifth in last year's points, but looks better than that this year. The series champ had some bad luck. Steve Kinzer, blown right rear, but 3 laps later, young Myers has worse luck, blown engine. He's done, and that means his weekend nemesis is home free. Schaefer, who won 3 features last year, has claimed 2 of the first 4 this year, collected $20,000 worth of slot machine quarters in the process. The dude took second, 12 lengths back, and leads the points.
Well, for those of you who prefer your sprinters without wings, we offer up the SCRA from Paris, California. In the B feature last night, 2002 Rookie of the Year, Bobby Cody climbs the right rear of Alan Ballard. Cody's okay, but as you can see, he's going to need a little framework. On the restart, it's Mel Murphy in the 62, who's going to do the Earth Sky routine after climbing the wheel of Tony Smiley. Fortunately, Mel was all right. Third attempt at a start, and Jimmy Crawford slams the back of Charles Davis Jr. They both test the strength of their belts. They were okay. Finally, 17-year-old rookie Alan Ballard takes a checkered flag, but that was it for any racing as rain halted the action. Now, the challenge of winning a USAC Weld Silver Crown Series event just got a little tougher. RE Technologies has announced the signing of World of Outlaw stars Donnie Schatz and Tyler Walker to their 2-kart team. Chris Santucci will be the crew chief for Tyler. Jack French will spin the wrenches on Schatz's effort. Both drivers will continue to run with the Outlaws as well.
Good things can happen when you take your Daytona prototype down I-95 to Homestead. We'll show you the Fat Cats who feasted on a thin field in Grand Am.
Then take advantage of our 2-for-1 sale. 2 sets of World Superbike highlights from Spain, coming up on Speed News. The World Rally Championship is one of the fastest growing forms of motorsports in the world. If you planned on watching our coverage of the Rally of Turkey this Thursday night at 7 p.m., you might want to get up and let the dog out. We're about to show the highlights from Turkey. With tensions high in the Middle East and recent heavy snowfall, the Rally Turkey looked like it might live up to its name. Instead, it has replaced the Safari Rally as the most punishing, car-busting, tire-thrashing, team manager head-scratching rally on the calendar. Now, how a place this beautiful can be so punishing is amazing. Rally Sweden winner Marcus Grönholm hoped for back-to-back wins in his Peugeot, but on stage 3, his power steering couldn't take the beating. After multiple repairs, he was over 10 minutes off the pace. Championship leader Citroën Sebastian Loeb was hoping to increase his points lead until he ran out of gas, making a wrong turn on the way back to service. Another victim of the Turkish countryside was Petter Solberg. He was leading the event when a rock ruined his Subaru suspension, forcing him to retire. Day 2, more attrition. Tommy Mäkinen damaged his suspension on 2 different occasions. The momentum he gained with a second-place finish in Sweden is gone. Peugeot's Harry Rovanperä was dominating the rally with a solid lead over Carlos Sainz until he too lost a battle with the boulder. He was able to make roadside repairs, limp back to service. Stage 13, however, was too grueling, causing a devastating end to his rally. Peugeot's Asphalt Ace Gilles Panizzi, driving a customer car, put in a surprising performance on the gravel, finishing 5th. After sweeping the roads on day 1 and a couple of spins, Colin McRae made a push for a podium spot. But Ford's Francois Duval with new co-driver Stefan Prevost held off the Scots Charge for an impressive 3rd-place finish. Richard Burns upheld Peugeot's honor, taking 2nd in the rally and the points lead. El Matador, Carlos Sainz, has competed in, get this, 165 WRC events, and today he picks up his first win for Citroën after only 3 events, and the 2-time world champ ties another former world titleist, Colin McRae, for the most career WRC victories with 25.
A slightly different form of racing. NASCAR not the only series plagued by rain. We're going to crank up Speed TV's IHRA drag racing coverage on March 22nd with the inaugural Amalie Oils Texas Nationals. Unfortunately, weekend-long rains around San Antonio have postponed that series opener until next weekend. Nonetheless, these folks worked hard to lead qualifying yesterday, so let's give them a bit of credit. Rhonda Hartman-Smith, the female top fueler, with a 4.62 with a 9. Janice, Thomas, and Peppers, however, will likely not hold on to those times because they're going to do another 2 rounds of qualifying coming up next weekend, including that big Night of Fire fun. So, do you want to know who won the Grand American Race at Homestead this weekend, or do you prefer to wait for Speed TV's telecast coming up Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern? Decide quickly, because here come the highlights from yesterday's race at Homestead Miami Speedway. Just 17 cars showed up for the weekend, including a scant 4 of the new Daytona prototypes. Series officials remain optimistic that more cars are in the pipeline. The sooner they arrive, the better. We go to the race. David Donahue's pole-sitting Porsche cab car leaps into the lead. We leap on board with challenger Tommy Riggins in the GTS class Mustang. You don't need a big field to have a great fight for the lead. You may recall both these cars blew up at Daytona. Donahue and Riggins swapped the top spot cleanly but aggressively early in the race, but the story comes to a bad end for the horse car. Riggins and his co-driver David McCachran disappointed again. Well, guess what? Same lap, the Porsche went south. Here it comes. They say a switch in the cockpit came adrift and shorted out, maybe? Well, anyway. Tough start to the season for the famed Brumos Porsche team. That gave the lead to Daytona DNFers Court Wagner, Brent Martini, the GT class Ferrari. This lead change cost them, or driver change cost them the lead. The other Brumos Porsche takes command, heads for the checkers. Jim France's kids JC got credit for driving it to the front. Must have been hard work. He's sweating. Brumos veteran Hurley Haywood did the honors. First time since '94 that noteworthy Porsche team has been to victory lane.
4 classes ran at Miami. Haywood and France got overall and Daytona prototype honors. Wagner and Martini were second overall and first in GT. John Levy and Kenny Pup, third overall, claimed the GTS trophy. Steve and Danny Marshall, along with Sean Philip, ninth overall, were the SRP2 class entry winners. The American Le Mans Series is set to open with the 51st running of the Mobil 1 12 Hours of Sebring. A spectacular lineup of 62 cars have entered, including 2 Bentley Speed 8s and a Lister Storm in the 900 class. That's the big class. A handful of Ferrari 550s, a factory vet, Salines, and a Pagani Zonda GR and GTS, and a Lamborghini GTR to stick it up for the GT War. Should be great. You can see what should be a classic endurance race, live flag to flag, right here on Speed, Saturday, March 15th, starting at 10 a.m. Eastern, followed by a late edition of Speed News at 11 p.m. Eastern.
Ah, yes, what to do, and where to go to do it.
Well, here's a look at our Advance Auto Parts racing calendar.
Speed News Sunday is brought to you by Circuit City. We know the excitement you feel about the latest digital toys. That's why we're here. Circuit City, we're with you. And by Porsche for the pure sport of driving.
Whether you want to know how to pull off a Boston Strangler on your Yamaha R1 like the Spain, or just how far you can rake out your fat boy, I've got mine at 38 degrees. Two Wheel Tuesday has it all for the motorcycle fan, starting at 7 p.m. Eastern, hosted by Greg White.
That Boston Strangler practice has not been going well lately. Today's two-wheeled action, the World Superbike opener, Valencia, Spain. Colin Edwards and Troy Bayliss, who had such a great title fight last year, plus all the Japanese factory teams, are gone to MotoGP. That leaves an army of Ducatis and the brand new Petronas, built from scratch by the Malaysian company for Superbike legend Carl Fogarty, thus the Foggy Petronas. Look amongst all the red bikes for the green one in 5th place. Australian Troy Corser put the 3-cylinder Petronas on the front row in its debut race. Didn't stay there very long. New faces up front. 52 James Toseland, chased by the factory duck jockeys Ruben Zaus and Neil Hodgson. Hodgson wasted little time proving he's the class of this field, and Zaus dispatched Toseland shortly thereafter. Now, I assume you're familiar with the sequence crash and burn. This would be the opposite. The Petronas is a genuine fire breather off throttle, lots of evidence, but the problem for the former U.S. and world champ was getting just a little bit offline. Looks to me like he's going to touch the paint line when he flicks it back right there, and he went wide, and once he's in the gravel handling deteriorated dramatically. Foggy seems unimpressed, though his other bike did finish, getting 12th. Now, I expect we'll get pretty accustomed to victory wheelies by the charming Britt Hodgson, understudy to Troy Bayliss last year. Behind him, Zaus a distant second, and we moved to race 2. This time, Hodgson got the whole shot, but watch the tussle for second. Zaus muscling his way past Toseland to put the factory bikes back out front. Still a Suzuki out there, number 10, Gregorio Lavilla, Steve Martin, and then Corser, who finished a respectable 7th as Hodgson sweeps. Organizers announced their restrictor plate plans for next year, which they hope will bring back the Japanese 4-cylinders.
You just can't let Ricky Carmichael get a lead if you want to win a Supercross. Last night at the RCA Dome in Indy, RC led all 20 laps to win his 6th AMA Supercross 250 main of the year. Chad Reed did cross the finish jump in 3rd. He's now 22 points behind Ricky in the chase for the title. In 125 class action, Brendan Jessamine won his 2nd Eastern Division main of the season and moved into the points lead. Mike Brown ended up 2nd on the night and moved into 2nd in the points.
All of that fun's moving, isn't it, Ralph? Remember, this is your speed news for tonight, but next week you got Wind Tunnel with my guest, Nikki Hayden of AMA Superbike Championship fame, and that'll be Friday night, 11:30 Eastern, right after Formula One qualifying. I'm Dave Despain.
Now, one other thing we need to tell you, that SCRA main event that they missed last night, that's going to be made up March 15th out at Paris before they start the regular program that night, so plenty of wingless racing out there that night. Should be a good one. I'm Ralph Sheheen. Dave and I are off to one of our favorite events, Bike Week. Here we go. But somebody will be in these chairs next Saturday night at 7 Eastern for Speed News. We'll see you from Daytona. You got all your gear packed?
Yeah, man, I'm ready to go.
Okay, we'll see you in Daytona.
Speed News is presented by Circuit City. For motorsports coverage when you want it, log on to speedtv.com.